Elise again with another book rec / craft video. This week we are doing Amy Stanley's Stranger in the Shogun City, a Japanese Woman and Her World. Stanley is a professor of history at Northwestern, and so this is obviously a non-fiction history book. As some of you may know, I am currently finishing up my master's degree in history at Brandeis, so I was very excited when a gender history book came available to me because that's the kind of history I'm interested in. So the book follows uses the correspondence of Tsunenyo, who is a young Japanese woman in the early 19th century, and kind of following her and her journey through 4 marriages and from leaving her small village to going to Edo, which is now Tokyo. We follow its social history. We follow her and the development of Edo at this time, which is going through many changes, and how it's eventually going to become Tokyo and how Japan reacts to and will be open to the West. It's a really good book, guys. This is one of those books. I'm currently working on my own master's thesis. This is the kind of book I would want to write. It's so well researched. It's using Tsunenyo and her life and her narrative to look at the broader picture of Japan during that period. It's such a great narrative style, and I love it, and I'm obsessed with it. And it comes out on the 14th, so that's Tuesday. Read this book. It's so good. And also, it makes her actually a pretty good beach read. It's very interesting. So please read it. It's very good. And so for our craft, going with this, it's Japan, so I went for the obvious craft. I'm going to be doing origami. I'll be making a kimono, kind of like the one we see on the cover, which can also be used as a bookmark. So let's get to it. For this craft, you're going to need some origami paper. If you don't have any, you can make your own out of any 8 by 8 inch square. Some contrasting paper, I'm just using some construction paper I had around my house for the sash, and tape, in case you want it to stick together, like if you want a bookmark so it doesn't come unfolded while you're reading. Your first step is to figure out which way is going to be the top and bottom of your kimono, and then you're going to fold it hot dog style, so lengthwise in that direction. Next, you are going to open up that fold, and then you are going to fold each of those halves halfwise onto that first fold line to make kind of like windows, like so. When you have your quarter flaps, you are going to flip your paper onto the other side, again looking at that first half line. Then you are going to fold, according to style, those quarter folds in onto itself using the halfway line as the marker. So you're going to fold it in on itself, and that's going to make the sleeves of the robe. To mark the difference between the sleeves and the bottom of a robe, you are going to then fold your paper in half, and once it's folded, you're going to take your scissors and cut just on the quarter lines that are showing on the front. You are going to cut on that second widthwise halfway line, so not on the big center part, but on the sides. And then you're going to flip it onto its back again, and then fold those in again onto the center line so that you have a bottom that is thinner than your top, which has the sleeves. And if you're like me and you're using your kimono as a bookmark, you want to tape stuff down so that it stays and so it doesn't come unfolded while it's in your book or while you're using it. So my first tape is going to be holding those backs on the bottom together, and that's also what's going to help this stand up. Then you're going to want to define the different parts of the top of a robe. So that top half that isn't taped down, you're going to fold a little less than all the way, so about 75% to 80% of the way up. And then you are going to fold that back in on itself but you want not even, not flush together, but you want the top to be, of the fold, to be slightly over the original section, and that's going to be the divide between the collar and the rest of the robe. So you're going to fold that together. And now we're going to really differentiate between the collar and the body of the kimono. So you're going to hold down that top fold, and you are going to push the top back down so you have that corner, like that, of the back showing the color of the pattern. You're going to do it on the other side. So you're going to have that little corner collar hanging above the rest of the kimono, but it's not the same width. Ta-da, like that. And then to make the collar more defined, so it looks more like a collar, you are just going to take the ends and fold them in so that the top of the torso and the top of the collar are diagonal from each other. You're just going to fold it and make little triangles on the back side. And like I did on the bottom half of the kimono, I am taping it all down together so that it doesn't come unfolded while I'm using it as a bookmark. So I'm just going to tape it all together, all the pieces that could unfold. I'm trying to tape down so they won't move. And now that we have the full body of our kimono, we need our obi or our sash. I'm using a solid red colored sash to break up the very colorful print that I have. So what you're going to do is you are going to measure it on the center section, the large section of the kimono that makes up the body. And you want it to be just a little bit longer on each side so that you can fold the strip in around it. So then you're going to go towards the bottom section of a kimono once it's cut. And you're just going to bend the ends so that it lightly stays on it, like so. And then you're just going to push it up in place. I have the bottom of the obi matching up with the bottoms of the sleeves. And then you are all done, and it is ready to be on display. It is ready to use as a bookmark. I've sent a bunch to my friends in the mail because it's a cute little surprise. And there you go. There's our little kimono, and it can stand up on the table by itself because, you know, it's still open like that, but also makes a pretty good bookmark. I usually have the sleeves hanging out like so. Whoop. And there you have it. The book is Stranger in the Shogun City. I recommend you reading it. Alright, see you next time.